Hi, I'm Dr. Cara Gubbins of the Animal Wisdom Circle, and I'm here to connect you with animals, nature, and spirit.
Beautiful. I'm Kim Julen with Finding Your Fiji, and I help bring harmony to your head, your heart, and to your home.
And we are having such a great time getting together and talking about topics that really matter to us, that have helped us, the things we've learned along the way to becoming professional intuitives and that sort of thing. And today we want to really talk about our helpers, because obviously we don't do this by ourselves. It's not something that we're just like, it's not like we lifted weights and got better at it or something. We have a huge team behind the scenes. And so that's what we want to share with you today. Who are our helpers? So I know, Kim, you've got a great story about how you discovered your allies on the other side, or however we want to call them. Will you share that with us?
Yeah, sure. So I have kind of two sets, well, many. I have many that help me. I have my own spirit team, which is a team. Each one of us as an individual has a spirit team. A team of angels and guides that help us specifically. They're just for us. And I have a whole team of guides, and currently I think I have 6 on my team. Sometimes I don't really know because they do kind of come and go, and I know I've been given information about different ones at different times. So I know Christine, I call them Christine and Company because Christine is sort of the spokesperson. She doesn't like to be called the leader. She's not the leader. She's just the spokesperson. And so Christine is one of them. David is another one. I have Harold. There's a funny story about Harold, actually. He was a shaman that actually lived, and when it came in that he was on my team, I was guided to connect with a friend of mine who's also an intuitive, Lori Wondra, who is in Minnesota. And when I shared with her about Harold, she knew him when he was alive, and she worked with him. And so that's why he guided me to go talk to her about him. So it was really kind of cool to have that connection and to know that this was someone that she actually knew. So that's another one. And then most recently, Wayne Dyer is on my team, which I feel like I'm a celebrity, right? He came in, after he passed, of course. Oh, there's a little gecko on the wall here. I wish I could turn the screen around for you guys to see. He came in when I started this move to Maui is kind of when he started coming in to help me. And because he has such a strong connection with the land, he's had past lives here, and so have I. So we have this very strong connection. So he's on my team helping me. And then I have the archangels. So all of the archangels come in at different times when I need. Michael is a really strong one for me. Archangel Sandalphon, Raphael, Jophiel. Jophiel's our Feng Shui archangel, so I work with her a lot, obviously, in people's homes. But all of the archangels are really there for me. They really come in, and they really come in and help me. And then I also have ascended masters that have helped me. So I've had Ramtha is kind of a lesser known one maybe that people haven't heard of, but he had connected with me some time ago and indicated that he was helping me. I have Jesus that comes in and helps, Mary, different ascended masters that also come in and help me. And I don't necessarily hear their individual voices. So when I'm doing a reading, I don't necessarily hear oh, this is, Harold talking, or this is so-and-so. I just hear the guidance, and they're always talking to me in my right ear. So I'm always getting that guidance in the right ear. And we'll talk more about that, I think, on another video. But I hear the guidance coming in just as them just stream of consciousness talking to me. So that's how it comes in for me. How does that work for you, Cara?
Wow. A little bit differently, but because I have kind of a different system. So
yeah.
I've got my team, and I call them in every single time I do a reading, and I call them in an order. So I have let's see, where do I start? I start over here, physical level healing guide, and then my emotional level healing guide, and then my spirit guide, who was actually my first guide that I ever connected with, but she always connects on my right side. So she's always right there. So as I go in the circle around, she comes in third. And then I have Olivia, who's my spiritual teacher, who's never been in physical form, and she's just really about spiritual lessons. I have John Lilly, who is not John Lilly the human, but John Lilly, a dolphin, who's never been a physical dolphin, but he's a dolphin energy spirit. And he thinks it's super funny to call himself John Lilly after the scientist who studied dolphins. It's just this bad humor thing that he's got going on.
Awesome.
So then I call in him. And those were, so when I did my psychic training, I first met my spirit guide, then I got my 2 healing guides, and then I learned how to astral travel, and we used to go to the Akashic Records a lot. And that's where I met John Lilly, when I was at the Akashic Records. And he came forward. And actually a dolphin that I knew in physical life is the one that introduced me to him. It's a really, that's a whole story in itself, but it was a really special thing.
Yeah.
I loved her. And then I have my that's like my team that I've had for years. Mm-hmm. And then I've got these new ones that come in. So I was being interviewed a couple of years ago for a Spirit Ally Summit, Telesummit. And I was talking about these 5 guides that I have, and my mom, who died 20 years ago, came in and said, "Yo, what about me? What am I, chopped liver?"
My mom. I'm sorry, Mom. I forgot to mention my mom too. I have some people that were in physical form that are also. My mom is definitely one of them too. Sorry, Mom.
Yeah. So it's just kind of funny because, for 20 years, really not much, and then all of a sudden, and now she comes in a lot, and it's really interesting to me because she was a single mom, and she was a real good source of unconditional love for us kids, for our friends. She was the one that anybody could come to anytime. And so when she comes forward in a reading, a lot of times it's because whoever I'm doing the reading for has a similar life path, and she's there to give them advice or reassurance or insight or, maybe a broader perspective on things.
That's very
cool. And then my last guide that I call in is an Asian elephant from Thailand, who was my first guest on the Animal Wisdom Circle, and who I went to Thailand to visit, but she had passed away, and so I went to her grave, and I stood and talked to her on her grave, and she asked me if she could please be on my spirit guide team. I was like,
oh, of course.
Duh.
Yeah.
Of course she can. I'd be honored.
Right.
So now it's kind of, it's this big, long thing when I go through everybody at the beginning of a reading, but they all bring something really special. And, there's a richness there. And I feel like the NASCAR driver, like I'm the one that you see, but the pit crew is, the one that makes it all happen.
Yes.
About them.
Yes. And I will say too, like I get, when I connect with people, especially for private readings, I'm connecting with their angels and guides too. So I will get I'm getting guidance from their team, right? And I don't necessarily know who that is. Sometimes somebody will come in and say they want to be known, like this is their angel so-and-so, or their family, like someone that's transitioned over will come in, like their mom or their dad or a mentor or something like that will come in and say, we're here helping them, and I'll get specific messages from them as well. So it's interesting to me though, like about my mom, I was just kind of laughing about that because I feel like my mom, and there's another friend of mine that passed away, I don't like to say passed away, but transitioned a couple years ago, guy friend of mine, Tim, and I feel like the two of them are more like help me with like personal stuff. Like they send me messages like dimes or pennies or things like that, and I know they're around, so like they'll give me the wink on things. Or my mom finds me parking spots. She's my parking spot guru, so whenever I need
practical.
Hey mom, hook me up, right? Like I'll be, this happened a bunch when I was going to the Hay House Writers Conference. I'm like, hey mom, are you working on that spot for me? Like I'm almost there, get it hooked up. And sure enough, I'd pull into the lot and literally there would just be one car backing out in a spot for me. She's just amazing at that. She does an amazing job with that. So you can ask, and that's the other thing too, like you can ask your team for help with anything. Like it doesn't have to be some big, huge thing. It can be very small things, Yeah.
Totally. One of my favorite experiences was my husband and I took our kids to Disney World, and we went to Animal Kingdom, And we waited in every line. I think we got to do like 3 things the whole day, you know, and it's hot and you're miserable and you're hungry and tired, and, you know, you get in line for the water ride, but it's an hour and a half, you know. And the next day we went back again, and I was like, I can ask for help.
Right? Duh. Like,
duh.
I know, it's intuitive. We forget.
And I did. And I swear we did like 3 times as many things. It was like effortless to just move between the different exhibits, and we saw shows and we got on rides, and it was just a completely different experience.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. It's like we can ask for help for anything.
Yeah.
And they'll show up and they'll do it. You know, it's just like that was night and day. Those 2 days at Disney World was crazy. How good it could go.
Yeah, and that's life. Asking for guidance and relying and trusting on that guidance, and life without. Like, it's a perfect metaphor, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier.
If you're not asking for help and you're not tapping into that all immense guidance and that immense help that you have available to you, if you're not tapping into that, life is very, very bumpy. When you do, it's like magic, like smooth, like, you know. Yeah.
Totally, exactly. And I think that the thing that I didn't know before I met all my guides is that I could have asked them for help at any time. They were already there.
Yes.
It was just that I finally became aware of them. So, you know, if anybody's watching this video and they're like, well, that's great for you because you got 97 different guides, you know. I'm sure, you know, like, don't you always think that? Like, you're watching me, you're like, oh, well, sure, of course it's easy for you. You've already done all the hard stuff. But it wasn't that I didn't have them. It was that I hadn't met them yet. They were always there working on my behalf.
They're always there.
But I just hadn't known it yet. So if you're watching this video and you're like, yeah, but I don't know who my guides are, that's okay. That's how you get to know them. You start calling on them when you need them. And then you start to become more aware of their presence in your life and how they like to do things for you. They might, you know, show you something in a book, or they might send you a person, or one guide might show you books and another guide might always send you a person when you ask for help. But the more you ask, the more you'll start to see those patterns, and you'll get to know those guides in that way. And that's what they want. They want us to ask for help.
Yeah. And I think it's beautiful because you don't need to know their names, like, ever. You don't really have to ever. There's several of my guides I don't know their names yet. I have a process now I could go through to find them that my mentor gave me. I haven't done it yet because it just hasn't felt important. Like, I haven't felt like I needed to, but you don't need to know their names. And the thing is, like, you can't get rid of them, even if you wanted to. Like, you're never alone. Like, you can't get rid of them, even if you wanted to. Like, they're always right there with you. So that's the thing that's so sometimes sad to me, when people are so disconnected, where you get you know, people that are committing suicide, things like that. They're completely disconnected. They don't feel that connection. They don't understand. They don't feel that they're supported. And the truth of the matter is they've just gotten very disconnected, right? But again, you can always get reconnected. And I think maybe that should be another video, like, how do you connect? Like, how do you get connected? And what I mean by connected is having your energy field clear so that you're an open channel to be able to get the guidance and to be able to see it.
And to just remember too that you're never truly disconnected, but you can lose awareness of your connection. Yeah. And there are ways to, you know, make it better, but we lose awareness of our connection.
Yes. Oh, thank you for clarifying that, because that's a beautiful way to put that. We are never disconnected. We're always connected. Yes. Using awareness.
And they're always there for us.
Beautiful. Awesome. Is there anything
wrap up?
Yeah, I think we're wrapping up this one. Is there anything you want to direct people to at this time, or any specific thing on your website maybe that they should check out?
Well, you know, my intuition development package is great for just helping you get the awareness of your own intuition, but also it will help you get the awareness of your guides. So I always recommend that. And so just go to drcaragubbins.com and you'll see that available for free. But also, I don't know if you teach a class. I teach a class called Meet Your Spirit Guide, and I teach it once or twice a year. And it's a great way to not only meet your guide, but also we go through different ways to connect and start to develop that relationship. So you start to communicate with your guide. So next time I offer that, definitely, get in on that as well.
Beautiful. I love that. I love that. So when I do private readings with people and people that are part of my Zodiac Angel Reading membership, get my Archangel Insight Guide, which provides some guidance. It gives you like a kind of information on the 15 main archangels, and like I like to say what they're good for, like what their specialties are, what you can call upon them for different things. And obviously you can call upon any of them for anything, but they have their specialties. So it gives you information about that, and also like ways that angels communicate with you, like through numbers, through different things like that. So if you join my Archangel or my Zodiac Angel Reading membership, you get that automatically. Or if you book a private reading with me, you get that automatically. So I would just say maybe I'll put a link to my Zodiac Angel Reading membership, because that too is like, it's a great monthly thing to get information and guidance about how to connect and how to be open, and to get sort of confirmation about what's going on for you, or get clarity about what's going on for you. So I think that would be a great thing for people to check out. That's super reasonable. It's like really reasonable. So yeah.